Hello, and thank you for taking the time to learn about the Envision Eugene Comprehensive Plan. This is a recorded presentation on the Draft Compact Development and Urban Design Goals and Policies for Chapter 2. My name is Stuart Warren. I'm an Associate Planner on the Community Planning and Design team, and one of the many staff working on the Comprehensive Plan. I am thrilled to be back presenting another round of draft goals and policies. The Comprehensive Plan is one component of the Urban Growth Strategies project. This project is identifying the tools, actions, policies, and land needed for the next 20 years for living wage jobs and housing that everyone can afford. This is one of a series of presentations on the Comprehensive Plan. In this presentation, I will provide a brief overview of what the Comprehensive Plan is, an overview of the draft goals and policies for Chapter 2, Compact Development and Urban Design, and lastly, I will outline next steps and ways that you can provide feedback. Let's talk briefly about what a comprehensive plan is. If you'd like to learn more, I encourage you to watch the recorded presentation on the comprehensive plan. The link is included here and at the end of the presentation. The comprehensive plan guides the city in its land use planning for future growth within the urban growth boundary. It is informed by years of community engagement through Envision Eugene. Each chapter has a series of goals that articulate the overarching aspirations of the community. Each chapter also contains policies. These policies will provide a consistent course of action and move the community towards attainment of its goals. Once adopted, the policies guide the work of city staff in formulating proposed changes to development regulations, long-range planning projects, and financial decisions. Before we dive into the draft goals and policies for Chapter 2, Compact Development and Urban Design, I want to provide a quick disclaimer. These goals and policies are in draft form and are likely to change because of the input we receive over the next year or so. Because of the number of policies, I'm only going to highlight a few of them. To see all the draft goals and policies and complete our survey, please visit the project's Engage Eugene page. The link is on the bottom of this slide and at the end of the presentation. The Compact Development and Urban Design chapter of the Comprehensive Plan currently has 3 goals and 15 policies. The chapter guides the city's future efforts for using land inside the urban growth boundary in an efficient and attractive manner that increases opportunities for people to live in complete neighborhoods with access to goods and services. It also introduces policies on planning for specific centers and corridors of commercial and residential uses that are intended to increase access to daily goods and services while reducing the need to rely on an automobile. The first draft goal is on compact urban form. The goal language is foster an attractive urban development pattern that promotes efficient use of resources, facilitates equitable development and access to community assets, and reduces Eugene's carbon emissions. Under this draft goal, there are currently 8 draft policies. A few examples of draft policies include compact development. This policy provides direction to the city to implement measures that increase the efficiency of land uses within the urban growth boundary. Integrate urban design with land use and transportation planning to provide a safe, attractive, and connected public realm while promoting resource-efficient land use patterns. And the last policy I want to highlight encourages infill development and redevelopment by addressing regulatory, financial, and other barriers. There are a lot more policies in this section, so check them out on the project's webpage. The second draft goal in the Compact Development and Urban Design chapter is titled Connected Corridors and Centers. The goal language reads, concentrate future growth and development near key corridors and mixed-use centers to facilitate efficient transportation, transit-supportive land use, housing options, economic development, and social connections. Before we get into the draft policies, I want to provide a little background on centers and key corridors. Centers are one strategy for building a more compact city. Draft policies focus future growth and investment in and near existing and future centers to increase access to essential goods and services for all residents. Centers range in size and activity level from the largest center downtown to mid-sized core commercial centers and smaller neighborhood centers. Centers are convenient and climate-friendly, bringing goods and services closer to people's doorsteps. They are envisioned to be connected by key corridors and with high-quality infrastructure for people who walk, bike, and ride the bus. And centers are comfortable and safe places for people. We have been out in the community talking with folks about centers, and we continually hear that they are much more than places of commerce. They are places for people to build community and connect with friends and neighbors. Eugene's key corridors are shown on by the dashed lines on the map, and they include portions of West 11th, Highway 99, River Road, 6th and 7th Avenues, Coburg Road, Franklin Boulevard, and South Willamette Street. Eugene's community vision calls for focusing future growth and development along these key corridors to support compact development. Key corridors connect people to the many of the key destinations they need to go to, like downtown and some core commercial centers. And lastly, key corridors are served by public transit. These corridors either have or would benefit from frequent transit service. We expect for these key corridors to evolve over time to better serve Eugene as it grows. To help realize this goal, staff have drafted 4 policies and a series of sub-policies on connected corridors and centers. Support higher intensity development and redevelopment, including commercial services, employment opportunities, and multi-unit housing near Eugene's key corridors. Again, these key transportation corridors are shown on the map by the dashed lines. Support higher intensity development of commercial, employment, mixed use, and a variety of housing types in or near centers at different scales. The draft illustrative map on the right shows proposed current and future centers throughout Eugene. This policy includes sub-policies on 3 different types of centers: the downtown center, core commercial centers, and neighborhood centers. And the last policy I want to highlight in this section is about planning for different types of public facilities and centers, such as transportation facilities and government services. The final draft goal of the chapter is titled Complete Neighborhoods. The goal language is increase opportunities for people to live in well-connected, safe, and healthy neighborhoods with diverse housing options and access to food, parks, schools, jobs, and social spaces within an easy walking distance. This goal has 4 draft policies and a series of sub-policies. The draft policies are: support the design and development of complete neighborhoods, where people of all ages, abilities, and incomes have safe and convenient access to daily goods and services. Continue efforts to identify and encourage preservation of significant historical and cultural resources, and to encourage adaptive reuse of historic buildings for housing or other public benefits, and incorporate historic preservation efforts into area planning. And the last policy that I want to highlight is about reviewing and revising the land use code to promote greater flexibility for neighborhood serving commercial facilities in residentially zoned neighborhoods. Our next steps for Chapter 2 include collecting community input on these draft goals and policies. This video, its surveys, and other materials are currently posted on the project's Engage Eugene page at the web address shown here, and I encourage you to let us know what you think. This year, staff will be working with an equity advisory panel, a housing and developer working group, and other groups like the Sustainability Commission and Active Transportation Committee to ensure their needs and priorities are accurately reflected in these draft goals and policies. Then, later this year, staff will be refining the draft goals and policies as needed with the Eugene and Lane County Planning Commissions, City Council, and Board of Commissioners. Again, I want to encourage you all to watch all of our draft chapter videos and let us know what you think. All materials can be accessed by visiting the project's Engage Eugene page shown here. You can scan the QR code or follow the link on the slide. We will be posting videos like this one with surveys for each draft chapter. Surveys will be available through the end of July in 2025. If you are interested in learning more about the Comprehensive Plan, please visit the Comprehensive Plan webpage also shown here. And lastly, feel free to reach out to project staff with any questions, thoughts, and feedback by sending us an email. With that, I want to say thank you for watching this presentation and taking the time to learn more about the Draft Compact Development and Urban Design chapter of the Envision Eugene Comprehensive Plan.